You've had conversations in your head more than you will ever have in real life. You've won arguments that never happened, replayed moments that are already gone, and lived entire versions of your future without moving an inch. And the strange part is, it doesn't feel like a waste of time. It feels engaging, sometimes even productive, which raises a dangerous question. If it feels this real, what exactly is your brain doing? Because this is not just about conversations. You simulate success, the version of you that finally gets it together. You simulate escape, the life you would live if everything was easier. And sometimes you just simulate just because it feels better than reality. So what is it? Are you avoiding something real or just enjoying something easier? Or both at the same time? Here's what most people never realize. Your brain does not treat a vivid simulation as fake. It runs the same circus, the same emotional responses, the same reward system. So when you imagine something clearly enough, your brain pays you, not partially, fully, for something that did not happen. That's why it feels so convincing. You're not just thinking about a life, you're experiencing a discounted version of it. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. If your brain already collected the reward, what reason does it have to do the real thing? Cheryl sits down to work. Blank page, cursor blinking. For a few seconds, she's present. Then it starts. She sees herself succeeding,
Thank you for
confident,
that warm
clear,
welcome.
impressive.
It's
Her body
truly
reacts like
inspiring
it's
to see
real.
you all here.
And now the actual work feels slower than the version in her head. So she stops. Not because she's lazy, because the reward already happened. The moment the brain gets the reward, effort starts to feel optional. Now here's the version that fools almost everyone. Jeff has a difficult conversation
I
coming.
need to be direct with my boss. The project timeline must be extended.
He tells himself he's preparing. He replays it again, again, again. Different versions, different outcomes. But nothing actually happens because there's no risk, no feedback, no consequence. It looks like preparation. It's avoidance. Preparation ends with action. Simulation ends with another loop. And then there's the most dangerous version, the one that feels like motivation. Mark imagines a better life, disciplined, focused, in control, and he feels it. Energy, direction, hope. But nothing changes because feeling ready is not the same as being in motion. The brain confuses the two. You don't become a person by imagining them. You become them by entering situations they wouldn't avoid. Now, listen carefully. At first, yes, you choose the escape. Then it becomes a habit, then a refuge, then a reflex. That's why it's so hard to separate the voluntary part from the automatic part. Both can be true. You may be escaping, and you may also be training your brain to stay there. And that's exactly why awareness alone doesn't fix it. There's a voice in your head right now. It says, I know when I'm doing this. I'm self-aware, so it doesn't really apply to me. That voice is the mechanism speaking. Naming the cage and leaving the cage are two different things. And there's another voice too. It says, I can stop whenever I want. Maybe, but if you really could, you probably already would have. Now, the obvious pushback. But visualization works. Yes, when it ends in action. Athletes visualize, performers visualize, serious people visualize. Then they move. That's the line. That's the difference. Productive visualization says, I can see it. Then, now I will do it. Simulation says, I can see it, and stops there, like it already earned something. That's not a tool anymore. That's a substitute. And then there's the second objection. Isn't this just daydreaming? Not if it keeps replacing the real step. Daydreaming passes through. Simulation sets up camp. So what do? Not stop thinking. Your brain will not allow it. You add friction. After every simulation, do one real thing. One sentence, one email asked, one question asked out loud, one ugly first draft. 30 seconds of reality. It's all enough to break the spell, because reality has texture. Simulation does not. Reality gives feedback. Simulation gives comfort. And comfort is not progress. This week, catch yourself once. The moment you notice the movie starting, say it plainly. I'm simulating right now. No shame, no drama, just naming the mechanism. Then do one real action, the smallest one, the awkward one, because embarrassment usually means the action is real. Mess first, meaning later, not the other way around. The simulation costs you nothing, except the hours you could have spent building something that lasts. You are not broken. You're not lazy. You're not a loser. You have a brain that learned to collect the prize before running the race. That made sense once. It makes less sense now. So here's the question that matters. What part of real life feels too expensive for your mind to stop simulating it?